I genuinely thought that by now I would feel grown up. Not older, grown up. I thought there would come a point where I'd stop caring what people thought, stop second-guessing decisions I'd already made, stop replaying conversations the next morning wondering if I'd said the wrong thing. I thought confidence would arrive with age, like something you earn simply by surviving long enough. And honestly, a lot has changed. I care far less than I used to about many things. But here's what I wasn't expecting. Some of it is still there. Quieter than it was, more occasional, but still there. That voice that wonders what people think. That instinct to explain myself when I don't need to. That old habit of editing my choices around other people's reactions. And I started to wonder recently, why didn't age fix this? And more importantly, will it ever? For much of my life, I was a people pleaser. I wanted approval. I wanted people to like me. I wanted reassurance that I was doing the right thing. And because of that, I often spent a lot of energy thinking about what other people thought. Would they approve? Would they agree? Would they think I'd made a mistake? Would they judge me? Looking back, I realise how much influence other people's opinions had over my decisions, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. And I think many of us grew up that way, especially women. Not only women, but I think that more often than not, we find that that's the way we think. We were often taught to be agreeable, helpful, accommodating, not too difficult, not selfish, not disruptive. And those messages can stay with us for decades. I assumed confidence would arrive automatically, that one day I'd wake up and simply stop caring, that experience would somehow erase insecurity, that age would create certainty. But life doesn't seem to work like that, because growing older doesn't magically remove old patterns. It simply makes us more aware of them. And although I've become much more comfortable in my own skin, I still catch myself worrying. I still occasionally seek validation. I still wonder what people think, particularly when I do something new, something visible, something vulnerable, like starting a YouTube channel. The reason this matters is because approval can quietly limit our lives, not dramatically, but subtly. It stops us speaking up, trying new things, making changes, following our instincts, living authentically. Because somewhere in the background, there's this voice asking, what will people think? And the older I get, the more I realise how expensive that question can be, because every decision we make based on other people's expectations takes us further away from ourselves. One thing I've learned is that freedom doesn't arrive all at once. It's not a switch, it's a process. Every time you make a decision that's true to yourself, every time you disappoint someone respectfully, every time you stop explaining yourself, every time you trust your own judgment, you become a little freer. And perhaps that's what confidence really is, not the absence of doubt, but the willingness to move forward despite it. If I'm honest, this is probably one of the last shackles I'm still working on. Not because I desperately need approval, but because old habits run deep. And perhaps the goal isn't to stop caring completely. Perhaps the goal is to stop allowing other people's opinions to determine the direction of our lives. Because there will always be people who disagree, people who misunderstand, and always people who judge. And I'm probably going to be opening myself up to a lot of that in the comments on my channel. And maybe real freedom comes when we just make peace with that. I thought I'd feel grown up by now. I thought confidence would arrive. I thought approval would stop mattering. But maybe growing older isn't about becoming fearless. Maybe it's about becoming more yourself. Less performance, less permission seeking, and more honesty. And perhaps that's the freedom many of us are still learning. Not freedom from other people, freedom from needing their approval. If this resonates with you, I'd love to know, honestly, has age loosened this for you at all? Or are you still working on it too? No judgment either way, I'm just curious. If you recognised any of this in yourself, I've created a free freedom and simplicity workbook that explores exactly this kind of letting go, and you'll find the link below. I'm Angela. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll subscribe and join me for the rest of this journey. I'll see you on the next one.